call out vocal leaders. Be sure to watch or to see Mr. Louis Farrakhan on the front line. So today we get to watch this amazing video of Miss Louis Farrakhan focusing on his warnings regarding the future of the United States, systematic issues and the moral standing of the nation. Without wasting any of your time, let's get into the video. All credit goes to the original creators of this video. Watch till the end, comment that there below, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet.
People are not afraid. The world has taken enough of America's evil. So death is sweeter to some than continuing to live under white supremacy and under tyranny. So no, I don't care nothing about them investigating me or arresting me or even killing me. But I tell you what, I'll give you a little warning. You killed your last man when you killed Dr. King. You will not get that chance to do that to me. And if it pleases God that you do kill me right after you kill me, all of you gonna die. Because I'm not here by myself. I'm not here of myself. You can see that God must be backing me. Otherwise, where would I get the strength to say and do what I do? No, man, it's our time now.
What do you think will happen to America if anything happens to me? I'm warning the government of America. This body you cannot have. You have killed your last black leader when you killed Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Do you think that a man that talks like this is afraid of death? I was born into the world to die, but I was born to do a work for Almighty God for the liberation of my people in America and oppressed people all over the world. So death don't faze me. But I wonder, are you as ready to die as you are to kill?
I think that the government of America would be wise to give justice to those that are crying out for justice from you. You don't have a lot of time left, but let me just say this, real quick.
Yes, sir.
You see, I'm backed up by a God. I'm not a preacher that don't have backup. And as you call for your backup, I'll call for my backup. Little by little, so that you may reason with his servant that is talking to you now. And perhaps this can be avoided. But Satan, he's a different kind of fella. Satan doesn't care what Allah shows him. His mindset is to go down and take as many down with him as he can. It's your choice. Communists are rising again. And they're sick of this Western style democracy and capitalism. And the hardliners that are rising want the return of the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, you see a breakup of the so-called Soviet Union and all of these tribes, if you want to call them that, the Croats, the Serbs, the Chechens, the Georgians, they all at odds with each other. And this conflagration is soon going to spread into Europe. Now, many of you that were in the armed forces in Europe, when they broke the power of the Soviet Union, they called many of you out of Europe back to America, you that were in the army. And you don't have any job, but soon they're going to ask you to go back to Europe. I wouldn't do it if I were you. No, I want you to hear me now. You can do what you want to do. But if I were you, I'd get out of the army. That's right. You didn't hear me.
Because I know you think that's your only employment. I said, if I were you, I'd get out of that thing. Because what the enemy intends to do is use your bodies to keep him propped up. And you will be killed this time. You're not going to make it. They got something planned for her. Let me tell you more. The messenger said, you will go away in the thousands and you will return in the tens. And when you return, there'll be no such thing as an American government. This thing is going. I'm saying it now, and it's recorded. You can get it. Because I don't care where you publish it. But every word you're going to face. He said, all of America's possessions will be taken one by one, and all her fortifications will be destroyed.
There's been some talk about the levee.
Yes.
I read in some newspapers that it was a mystery. What happened to the levee because Katrina had passed by. And after Katrina had passed by, there was joy.
Right.
Even though the wind damage was terrific, there was joy that the levee had held. And all of a sudden, people say they heard explosion. And some of the quick responders to justify criminal actions said it must have been gas explosions leaking from some of the houses. But when we visited with Mayor Nagin on last Sunday, he told us there was a 25-foot hole under one of the levees.
That's right. It was a crater.
A crater.
That's right.
Under the levee.
That's right.
Suggesting. He didn't say what it suggested, but it was clear that a 25-foot crater. And then I got something from a Hal Turner. It says New Orleans, Louisiana divers inspecting the ruptured levee walls surrounding New Orleans found something that piqued their interest. Burn marks on underwater debris chunks from the broken levee wall. One diver, a member of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, saw the burn marks and knew immediately what caused them. He secreted a small chunk of the cement inside his diving suit and later arranged for it to be sent to trusted military friends at a U.S. Army forensic laboratory at Fort Gillem, Georgia, for testing. According to well-placed sources, a military forensic specialist determined the burn marks on the cement chunks did in fact come from high explosives.
I'd come through. Ask Allah what He advocates. See, God is the biggest killer of anybody that ever been on the planet. And none of you have ever charged God with being a terrorist, but when He come through Mississippi, see, won't He terrorize the population? Have you ever seen those tornadoes? Looking like dancing girls
girls in long skirts.
Right.
Watch them when they come down and the energy that's in them and what they tear in their path. Have you ever seen a tidal wave? Water 60 feet high moving at many miles an hour coming over the land, tearing up everything. That's terror. Go ahead. Have you ever seen hailstones? Not the size of golf balls, but blocks of ice coming out of the sky. Have you ever been troubled by ants and boll weevils and locusts and killer bees?
Yes, sir.
See, when God get after your raggedy backside, he'll terrorize you with gnats to show you how little of nothing you are with your big guns. He put a gnat inside your ear and drive your silly self crazy. This is God. Mississippi needs to be acquainted with a killer God. You've been talking about this loving, peaceful, forgiving God. I want to acquaint you with a God that come to kill. That's right. You said it right. Allahu Akbar. And everybody gonna be saying that in a few days. God is great. See, the only way you gonna submit and do what's right, God is gonna have to kill you. You really don't believe that there's a God that answers, that there's a God that takes account. 48? Hell no. It's a countless number of souls that have been drowned in the swamps and rivers and lakes. It's a countless number that have died in Mississippi at the hands of vicious murderers who never thought that God would bring them to a day of reckoning. I'm almost finished. I'm going to get out of Mississippi if it's the will of Allah. I'm not going to hang around. And I tell you, you're going home. And just watch. I would love to make Mississippi an example.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See?
Yes, sir.
Be in a car, brother minister.
Even if you're not, it don't make no difference. I'm glad you are in accord, but it don't make any difference if you're not. I'm in accord with God, and He's in accord with me. And my will and His will is one will. And you'll see. Playing, think that this is some joke. You think that Farrakhan is just a big mouth running around America talking, huh? You think that Elijah Muhammad was some plaything for you, huh? That you can spit on him and talk about him like a dog and play with him. You didn't think that there was a day that you got to come to a reckoning? You at it now. You had it.
Yes, sir.
Mississippi. In the book of Isaiah, it says, justice stands afar off, and equity cannot enter. because truth has fallen in the streets. Attorney, when these vicious murderers murder our poor people and some of their own, they have to justify their killing. You don't have the money to hire a forensic specialist, so they tell you your son hung himself with his shoelaces. The latest victim, 19 years old, young brother Lindsay, hung himself with a bed sheet. And they make it look so convincing. But you know, every mother that has buried her son or her daughter, you know, deep down inside, they lie. Justice stands afar off. Equity can't enter because truth has fallen in the streets. These are liars. Police liars. Coroner liars. That's right. District attorney liars. Judge liars. Justice Department liars. Attorney General liars. If the white male is gonna rule, then he must crush the black male.
Yeah.
White male, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Because if in reality, because of white supremacy, you believe that in order for you to survive as a white man, you have to crush a black man's existence, then in crushing our existence, you are doing something to your own. Because ultimately, no power on earth,
No power.
for any long period of time, can keep any man from attaining what God himself has willed for that man.
Yeah.
Now, because America, the final call has been issued. For 40 years, the paper is out. And now, judgment is coming down in full. So the messenger said Europe will be one of the worst war areas of all the world. Europe. Watch Berlin, and when you start going away, the messenger said, you go away by the tens of thousands to fight. He said, but you come back by the fives and tens. You can't win another war. Russia, this will be your undoing too. You see, all white power has to end.
Thank you for watching this video. This video has focused on the one mighty vocalist, a powerful leader, Mr. Louis Farrakhan, and we have focused, or we have rather watched the warnings regarding the future of the United States, systematic issue, and the moral standing of the nation. And looking at these videos, guys, it's more of a prophetic message right now that we can get to understand what he was getting to talk to us back then, or what he was trying to warn most of the people back then. So this is an interesting video that we have watched, and giving respect to this Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Most people love him, most people adore him, and most people love to listen to what he used to talk about. So what do we get to watch or get to note from the video is what he wants to Americans. Mr. Farrakhan argued that the U.S. government is falling and wants of divine judgment due to historical and ongoing injustices, particularly those impacting Black Americans. So he goes out all to talk about the issues or the historical injustices that are impacting the Black Americans in the United States. So he goes to on talks about divine judgment and how the USA will turn out, and eventually, or to be honest, some of these things are already happening. So when it comes to the international conflicts, he suggests that global instability is rising and ongoing injustices, particularly those impacting instability is rising, and advices against military participation, predicting a significant decline in American global power. So he talks about the international conflicts, and the instability when it comes to the rising, and advices against military participation when it comes to these missiles and fights, Iran, Cuba. This is what Mr. Farrakhan was as about. He talks about not involving the USA in such wars or in such scenarios. So the New Orleans levees, we get to see the controversial claims regarding the Hurricane Katrina levees, alleging that they were destroyed by explosives rather than natural causes. So this is something else that also lies in the national conflict. Instead of just leaving nature to be on its own, he insisted that the Hurricane Katrina was not a natural disaster, but it was triggered by or destroyed by explosives. So call for justice. Mr. Farrakhan also states how a systematic corruptions where we get to see that police, the judiciary, and other institutions have consistently lied to oppressed and harmed Black communities. So the spiritual perspective, much of the this, we get to see these events as divine retribution for centuries of slavery and systematic racism, and this position Mr. Louis Farrakhan as a messenger of this judgment. And truly, guys, we get to see these things are happening, and it's getting out of hand. Things are getting worse by the day. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Make good name, make good channel. Guys, subscribe if you haven't yet. I honestly appreciate your support and love. I don't take that for granted a bit. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't shown a girl some love, please do so, and comment as well. Turn on your notifications so that whenever I get to post these videos, you will be on the front line to watch and see these videos. So let's get going, let's get subscribed, let's get growing, and catch me on the next one, my good people. I love you all. To all of you who get back tuning again and again, I don't take it for granted. God bless and one love.